everyone. Today is January 17th, 2021. This morning there was a lot of activity above my house, angel and orbs all over the place. Now, despite the cold and wind, it doesn't affect them, but it did me. Unfortunately, the clouds rolled in. Here in New Jersey, we've not had the best of weather lately. So I ordered a couple sun lamps, like 2 sun lamps for extra vitamin D. Yesterday afternoon, I saw an orb in our dining room, which is amazing. It was a small one. While I was talking to my husband, it's a rare treat since I don't see them often inside the house with my own eyes. But then again, we're always on the go here, one thing after the other. I've seen them a couple times in the house, put it that way, and I normally focus on outside more so than inside. Anyway, I just wanted to say, for anybody new to my channel, welcome. Thank you for following me. I'm going to do a quick recap because this started about 2.5 years ago. It was in early February of 2018 when there was an uptick in paranormal occurrences here in and around our home, followed by what I assumed was a UFO. I just dropped my youngest children off at school and walked back to my car when I saw it. And then it seemed to have followed me, as it appeared 3 more times on the side of our house where our garage is. My children were riding their scooters and bikes, and simultaneously large pieces of fluff would float past my face as I sat there thinking, how odd. And then in mid-June, it rained orbs and celestial fluff in our backyard, just like a scene in some fantasy movie. And then following came the fairies swirling all over the southwest part of our yard in the later part of the day, because they always follow the path of the sun. Infrared lights them up, etc. That same summer, another UFO object appeared, and it took its time going from one end of our property towards the other before disappearing. The joke at the time was that in the span of X amount of minutes, I think it was like either 20 or 30 or something like that. It might have even been 40 minutes. I couldn't get a great video or great photos no matter how hard I tried. And boy, did I try. And I was sweating out there, and we just got done playing. We were playing volleyball at the time when my youngest, it was my middle child who spotted it. And it was by the moon at the time. And it kept cloaking, especially when a plane would fly past. And my original video is still up on YouTube. Just look for it. It's early on, back at that time frame. While we were at a summer picnic on Randall's Island at the same time frame, this same object appeared above us. I immediately knew what it was, while others assumed it was a very strange drone hovering above us. So yes, they're everywhere, and it took me a while to realize who they were at first, how it was all connected. As many people know, angels can be any size they want, including smaller than a speck of dust. Now, most recently, if you listen to my latest nighttime video, they exist in water, matching up to the waters of life in Genesis, while the firmament, I suspect, is what many call the veil. And it's all kind of tying back to Genesis, and it's all tying back to life, creation of life, and how I guess souls exist, put it that way. Anyway, back on December 26th, I was at my doctor's office when a gentleman in town had heard I'm the angel lady. So I'm the angel lady, yay! Or it's kind of pretty awesome when you meet somebody else that's like, yes, I've seen them, and I get so excited. And same thing with anybody here that messaged me and sends me leaves me a reply that says I've seen them too, and it's incredible. So he showed me his video he's taken on his phone, and I'm going to share it with everybody here. And he also gave me permission to share his story, because while it appeared at his house, there was a couple, he had 2 accidents. And this is what he had, quote unquote, this is what he has, his story. As mentioned, I had a few scary incidents happen around this time. After a storm, a large branch got wedged in a tree in our backyard. As a neighbor and I tied a rope around the branch and tried to bring it down, it came crashing down and came crashing down within a foot of where I was standing, and almost, I almost got seriously hurt. Another time, I was painting on a step stool and fell down the stairs. As I was falling, I thought, this is it for me, I'm going to die. I was mentally preparing myself to be impaled by the stool legs or have some serious spinal injury. After I fell, I got up without a scratch. Now, both times, escaping injury is that's our guardian angels. And perhaps the larger ones could be archangels. We still don't quite know yet, but little by little, 2.5 years later, we're figuring out some things here, at least. Now, this gentleman's video was taken in the spring of 2020, approximately 2.5 miles away from where I live, and it was in between our houses at the 1 mile mark that I saw my first one in the sky.
Alexa, play I Got This Girl. Alexa, play I Got This Girl.
Okay, so before I go on, I need to do this in the correct timeline because a lot has happened on a personal level in my life, all of it good and what I like to call divine providence. I believe many pieces of a grander puzzle were put in place a long time ago, waiting for a specific moment in time when it all converges. I'm fairly certain many of you can feel it psychically, intuitively, something's coming, the world's changing, and we're in the midst of what I suppose would be akin to labor pains. Angels continually show us unity and love. We're not meant to hate one another. I mean, it's okay we get mad, but not this level of hate. And when I watch how they move together in a group. There are times when they'll be stationed apart, but they're still connected. And I recently had done a meditation where I was shown a necklace around my neck, it's circular necklace that looked like large pearls. And I was shown this a few times in meditations, but I had forgotten about it, especially when this all began. And it's silver. It's a silver thread necklace, like wearing those Christmas light necklaces that light up. Now, a woman and a man were standing in front of me, because it's always about duality, male, female, light and dark, etc. And they touched one of the balls on this weightless necklace, and the ball glowed brightly. And then they touched the other one, the same thing happened. Now, each ball around my neck represents a soul, a life force, or what many call the Christ light. The silver thread is what joins us all together, and together we are brighter than any star. Unfortunately, dark forces and negative demonic energies don't want this, and divided we are weak, while living in fear weakens our bodies and our spirits. Just yesterday when I was out, everyone I encountered was sweet and polite, somebody holding the door open for you. Even though we can't see our faces, there's a smile there. And it doesn't matter what choice of religion we prefer or what political party, the color of our skin, hair, and so forth. It's always been about what's inside our hearts. And like that necklace, souls joined in strands, unified. I think they unify sometimes when they travel. And that goes back to the one video I have, which I call an orb ship. And I've seen this happen a lot of times. So I call them orb strands, very similar to a spider's. And I still remember the day I was standing in my backyard when one shaped like a gigantic letter S flew past, and the color was red. At the time, I did not understand why that color, but now we get it. We know why. And of course, there's my favorite Orby, who's a celestial soul that morphed from a tiny person who was peeking in my neighbor's window, who flew past as a wobbly jelly type of thick strand. The point that they have tried to make over and over with those silver strands, orb strands, is how we're all connected. Necklace, it all ties together. Before I go on, let me backtrack a bit here. On January 7th, early in the morning, I stepped outside and in the sky was the most amazing clouds I've ever seen. And immediately I sensed what I was looking at was far bigger than what we could ever imagine. A celestial body which goes by many names, while many of us can sense that there's much more going on than what we can see. I'm going to share some photos. And if you want to know more about that, I'm going to leave a link in underneath the description. Now, back on the morning of January 9th, I had a pretty awesome Mandela effect. If you don't know what that is, go look it up. It's pretty wild. I pulled out a box of Valentine's decorations, and when I went to put this one sign in its usual place, the letter had changed. It's no longer a V, but a G. Now, Galentine's Day is an actual holiday. I looked it up. And it takes place on February 13th. Now, angels always talk to us. Angels also talk in numbers. And I'll admit, I'm not sure what this means, except that I feel crystal time is right in how timelines are fluctuating. I'm going to leave Crystal Time's YouTube channel also in the description. Please check out some of her videos. It could be also 13 days from the day, which will make it this Friday. So we'll see what's going on because there's so much going on at once. Put it that way. But I don't think it's a bad omen. Even though it's number 13, it's not a bad omen. Okay, so last Sunday evening on the 10th, my iPhone suddenly went berserk. And it could have been just a glitch, but I also had the unusual ringing in my ears, the Morse code type ringing around the same time. Some call it a digital download. I don't think I've ever told the story of how I had the most incredible video of an angel changing shape that looked quite alien. And this is also back when this first started. But unfortunately, that video got corrupted on 2 different drives. And I was so upset. And no software or websites helped. And I wasn't meant to have it, and I wasn't meant to show it to anybody. So that was that. And thankfully, my phone went back to normal later on that evening. On January 12th, another orb appeared in front of the same security camera I used to record the nighttime activity. They've done this a few times. It's the camera. This camera was sitting on the front second story ledge, but I move it back into the back. I move it into the backyard when it rains now because I get better recordings. So take a look at what happens here, and this matches up to the nighttime video I just posted. It's a folding in of energy. Energy is all around us. Orbs and orb holes, sounds really funny, are all around us. And again, the word firmament pops in here. The veil, firmament, Genesis, we know souls can reside in water and the air. Tesla believed light was a wave. Through a medium called ether, which fills the universe. And it's interesting to note because they often show me they are tied to light, the bending of light, folding in, etc. Angels once showed me in a dream that they show me space dust, celestial dust. So they're not confined to here. Much of this is multidimensional travel, and we know that they change shape and they can go from ethereal to solid and back again. And again, what I see us. They are our loved ones who have passed on, earning their wings, messengers, and then some of them are angels on missions. I once saw a female wearing a white dress she was like the size of a bird, with long wavy dark hair past her hips. She looks surreal, like a cartoon. And she is in my Meet the Fairy Angel ET Beings video on BitChute. And again, same time period. It was in 2018. But unfortunately, it was taken with my older camera, which wasn't good at all. So the quality is so. It's not on YouTube because YouTube will not let me leave it up there. You can go check that out if you want to. I will warn you, it's like 40 something minutes long. Oh, I also took a photo of another lens flare anomaly. So I spent hours, I think it was Friday, I sat at my computer and I dug through all my old photos. And I'm going to share these photos here. That is still a mystery. And again, we'll shelve it for now until maybe they give us a little bit more information about what we're looking at. Another word I was told by them is orgone. They are tied to orgone energy, or they are orgone energy. And back in my nighttime video that I just did, the word phosphorus came to mind. And I looked that up. It's a component of bones, teeth, DNA, and RNA. And I think they're letting on DNA here. According to various sources, after death, we retain soul memory. For those that are reborn, reincarnated, we no longer retain those memories. And if we do remember fragments, that's the character in my book. She remembers her past, some of her past lives and her soulmate. And if you want to check out my book, I have a book trailer on, I have a book trailer here, long and short, depends on if you want spoilers. And that book ties into what's happening now, our spiritual great awakening. And again, this goes back to pieces that were put in play a long time ago. So a lot is happening in regards to the Schumann resonance too. Check that out on Twitter. I'm going to leave the link for that as well and share some graphs real quick. So things are indeed happening. We had the Great Conjunction with the planets, and we are now in the age of Aquarius. It's going to be a bumpy ride for a while. So I'm going to end this video here because I have some nighttime footage that I took and I want to share and get that started, as well as this morning's recordings. I still haven't even looked through the photos I took this morning. I'm hoping they're good. I mean, it was really cold out there, and unfortunately I sprained my lower back, and I'm in so much pain right now, but I'm smiling, in pain and I'm smiling. You know how you bend down and you try to pick something up and it's like, yeah. So I twisted the wrong way, and I'm no spring chicken anymore. And my kids always kind of call me an old lady a lot. For my videos, just to let everybody know, I use Picasa, which is no longer available, but I love it. And it's easy for me because time is short. I use it to boost my photos because they're very faint and they're small. I use Movavi for video editing, and I did download OBS Studios, but then the great Twitter purge happened. I created some new accounts, and I've been playing catch up right now because I feel it's important to get their message out there to as many people as possible. When I meet people in person, I'm guided to sometimes approach them. And thank you to everybody who I've done that to, and for not thinking I'm some crazy lady. And I wanted to thank everybody for sticking by me and letting me share my information in my videos and blabber on. So God bless everybody. Hang in there. Crazy weeks ahead of us, but you got to get through the dark to the light. Take care.
Kind of okay. Alexa, play I Got This Girl. Alexa, play I Got This Girl.